Hello again, I'm Stephen Cox, the founder of TakeLessons, and welcome back to our video course, Measuring Your Marketing. In the first video, I gave you an overview of what you can expect from this course. And in this video, we're going to define a few necessary measuring tools that will help you understand your marketing efforts. There are a series of acronyms used to help determine the success of your marketing. And at the end of this course, you're going to be able to first, define what a channel is. Second, define and understand CAC, which stands for Customer Acquisition Cost. Next, you'll be able to define and understand LTV, one of my favorites. It stands for Lifetime Value. You'll also be able to understand and define ROAS, Return on Ad Spend. And then finally, you're going to be able to define your EPH, which is your very, very important earnings per hour. So let's get started. First, let's define channel. A channel is simply a medium or a source used to acquire a new student. Some examples of a channel might be things like this. Word of mouth, one of our favorites and the cheapest way, obviously, to get customers. Flyers in coffee shops. You may be writing blog content. You may have tapped into a school or a school district. TakeLessons, my company, is also a great source. You might be using Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or any of those sources as well. Any place and any medium you use to acquire new students is considered a channel, no matter if it's verbal, written, digital, or whatever. The benefit of knowing and separating your channel is that you're going to be able to understand which of your channels are the most profitable for you and where you should be able to spend your time the most. The next acronym we need to know is CAC. And in order to understand how effective your marketing is, you need to first understand how much it costs you to acquire a customer. We call this CAC, or Customer Acquisition Cost. CAC is calculated like this. Your total marketing cost divided by the number of newly acquired students that marketing provided. And the purpose in calculating your CAC is so you can understand how much it costs you to get a new student. And by calculating CAC across several channels, you can see which one of these channels is absolutely the most effective for you. Now, don't worry, in a later video, we're going to walk through all the actual examples and plug in numbers. Ooh, math. But that's what we're going to do, plug in numbers for you to see how these measurements are actually doing in action. But for now, all you need to do is grasp the concept. Next, LTV stands for Lifetime Value. And this measurement helps you understand how valuable a group of students are to you. This would be calculated by multiplying the number of sessions taken by the price of each session. You may also have things like setup fees, late fees, etc. All of the revenue that you associate with that particular customer is calculated into the customer LTV. A customer may be a private student, or you may determine a customer to actually be a complete family. Either way is fine, whatever you choose to do, so as long as you stay consistent through your measurement. And on a future video, we're going to walk through these calculations in more detail. But for now, really what I want you to do is understand the overview. Now let's move to our third acronym, ROAS, or ROAS. ROAS. Now once you understand and know how much money that you're spending on advertising and how many customers the advertising is yielding, and then you also understand the LTV of those students, you can then now calculate your ROAS, or Return on Ad Spend. ROAS measures the gross revenue generated for each dollar spent on advertising. In other words, ROAS lets you see how much revenue that you're generating for each $1 that you spend towards advertising. It's pretty important to know that, wouldn't you think? Of course, you want to make more revenue than you're actually spending. Wouldn't that be great? Well, knowing your return on ad spend allows you to see how effective one advertising channel is relative to the other channels. Then you can make smart decisions on which channel to pay more attention to and which channels just simply aren't working that well for you. Finally, let's move to our last acronym, EPH. Of course, you have a rate that you charge, but you also need to calculate the rate that you actually earn. What's the difference, you may ask? Well, depending on your marketing strategy or the preparation that you do prior to your students' lessons, you may be spending extra time that's not accounted for. And in order to see how profitable you are on a monthly and yearly basis, you need to know your true EPH and then be able to compare your current earnings to prior months as well as prior years to see if you're actually improving. By calculating your earnings per hour by customer, you'll also be able to see who your most profitable customers are and what channels they're coming in from. Now, in a future video, we're going to walk through a few examples of how to calculate your earnings per hour. And for those of you who watch, I'm also going to provide you with some tools that you can use in your own business right now to calculate these numbers. All right, let's summarize. In this lecture, you learned the key marketing components you need to measure your marketing. You learned the definition of CAC, which stands for Customer Acquisition Cost. You learned about LTV, which stands for Lifetime Value. ROAS, which stands for Return on Ad Spend. And we also learned about EPH, which allows you to calculate your earnings per hours. So now we have an assignment. And your assignment is really easy this week. In fact, we're going to do it right now. So grab a pen, some paper, your phone, or whatever it is that you write with, because we are going to give you a very quick pop quiz. All right, get those pens ready. Are you ready? Grab your phone. We're going to take a really quick pop quiz. All right, are you ready? Here we go. We're going to count down about 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I have given you another moment. Super. Let's move forward. So I'm going to describe a situation and you tell me which one of our 4 measurements would be best to use. First, I have a couple channels I use for advertising. And if I want to see and compare the two to see which ones of these give me the best return, what measurement am I going to use? What measurement am I going to use? That's right. All right, you ready for the answer? It is ROAS, Return on Ad Spend. Remember, ROAS measures the gross revenue generated for every dollar spent on advertising. And by looking at your ROAS for the 2 different channels, you can then compare them and see which one is generating more revenue for you. All right, let's go on to question number 2. I would like to calculate how much money I spent in order to get a new student. What measurement am I going to use? What measurement am I going to use? Time there. All right, you ready? That's right, you got it. This is my CAC, my Customer Acquisition Cost. And by knowing your CAC, what does that mean? You're going to be able to determine whether you're paying the right amount in order for you to turn a profit. Very, very important in your business. All right, let's move on to question number 3. Let's say I have a student that's been with me for 5 months, and I'd like to know the total amount of revenue I have earned from that customer. What calculation am I actually describing? All right, you figured it out? I bet you got this one. This, of course, is my favorite, LTV, Lifetime Value. LTV allows you to see who your most profitable customers are. Very, very important. All right, 4th, there's only one answer left, so my guess is you're going to nail this one. Number 4, finally, I want to know, after I put in all my time and all my planning, what is the true rate that I am earning? What calculation am I describing? Yep, you got this one. This one is EPH, or earnings per hour. Great work on your pop quiz. Give yourself a hand. Way to go. You are well on your way to understanding how to measure your marketing. And that brings this lecture to a close. And in our next video, we're going to dive deeper into understanding our first acronym, CAC, Customer Acquisition Cost. And I'm going to walk you through examples to help you master your marketing. So take care, hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you in the next video.